Hi everyone, welcome back to We Fight Fat. I'm Dan Dos Santos and today I want to talk about two exercises you can use to help correct that pectus carinatum, in other words, pigeon chest. Now, my pigeon chest, actually I don't know if you can see it, I'm wearing this tank top, but it protrudes to my left side, which means that it makes my left pec look a lot smaller than my right pec. And I want to go through two exercises that I've had in my programs for years and years, and I feel like they are essential when it comes to correcting pectus. Now, another symptom that I have from my pectus is it causes my scapula to wing. Now, there are a few things that you can do to help with scapular winging, but they kind of cross over in certain instances with helping your pectus, and that's what this workout today, these two exercises I'm going to show you, are going to help you do. So for the first exercise, we're going to be doing a face pull. Now, for the face pull, you can do it in a number of different ways. You can do it from high to low. You can do it, high to low. You can do it from low to high. It's going to work the shoulder at slightly different angles, but essentially the main primary muscle groups it's going to work are going to be the rear part of your shoulders, so your posterior deltoid, your rotator cuff, which is sort of here on your shoulder blade, and then it's also going to work your upper back muscles. It's going to work your lower traps, which are part of your upper back muscles. So it's going to work your rhomboids and partly the upper trap as well. Now, all of those muscles are going to assist in giving you great posture. It's going to counterbalance all the other pushing that you do in a really good way, because it essentially allows your body to do this. Opens up your chest, opens up your shoulders, and already you can see that it just gives me a better looking chest and shoulders and upper body in general when I hold better posture. And this goes for everybody. So this exercise doesn't just apply to helping with pectus carinatum, it also just applies, I think, to most gym goers and most physical athletes. I think the face pull should be put into any workout routine, even if it's just as a warm-up or a cool down. I think you should include it. Now, the second exercise I'm going to show you is just going to be the push-up. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the push-up, but I'm going to show you a variation, a side-to-side variation that I like to do, which allows you to concentrate on one side, and that's going to really help when you have things like imbalances. It's going to help with feeling your chest on the particular side you feel like you can't feel like that you have an imbalance on, and it's also going to help develop it on that same side. So I'll first show you the face pull. I'm going to show you a way that you can do it with household items, because so I'm going to show you a low to high variation with household items, and then show you a high to low variation with a band. Okay, so the low to high variation, you'll require a towel. You'll also require a bag of some kind, and I've already put stuff in this bag. Make sure you load the bag. Load it to the point where you can bicep curl it comfortably, and that should be the bicep curl it for about 10 reps comfortably or more, 10 to 15 reps, and that should be roughly the amount of weight you want to start with your face pull. Now, with this variation, because you're using a bag, you kind of have to start from the floor and stop at the floor, but again, it achieves what we want it to achieve. So hold it underhand grip, never overhand grip with the face pull, because we want to get that full external rotation. If you notice my thumb, I'm going to have them pointing out and they're going to lead the movement. When you do a low to high face pull, if you do it with dumbbells or you do it with like this with the towel and the bag, what you want to do is assume a bent over position about 45 degrees. Start with the bag on the floor, point those thumbs, and then pull back and back, pull back and apart. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Pull back and apart. So as you pull those thumbs up, make sure they open up as well. So I'll show you what that looks like again. Up and apart, and then down, up and apart, and then down. Okay, I know it takes the tension off, lowering the bag. What you can do, if you can raise yourself safely, and I emphasize safely, you can do this and it will extend the range of motion. So if you use a chair, you might not be able to see my upper body, but hopefully you can see my positioning. Assume that same position, and then you can see it doesn't touch the floor, and I have constant range of motion. Constant range of motion. Okay, that's how you do the face pull with a bag, a towel, and I just gave you a tip on how to improve the range of motion and keep the tension on the muscles. That's an optional thing. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But just make sure you're being safe, guys, and being smart. I know it's just a chair, but just make sure it's quite a sturdy chair. It's not really flimsy. Wooden chairs that you usually use, that you would use at a dining table, I find are quite good for doing exercises on. So I've used them before and I'm comfortable using that. But start off with the ground variation and then see if you want to move up. I'm now going to show you the second variation, which is going to be the high to low face pull. Now for this, you'll need bands and you'll need the ability to hook it. I was lucky enough, I got these at the start of this lockdown. I foresaw the lockdown coming, so I actually ordered these probably like nearly a week before the lockdown got introduced. But this is a really cool piece of equipment that you get with some bands. And I would say any bands that you buy, make sure you get this. This is kind of a stop that you put in the door, either at the bottom or the top, and it allows you to hook the bands on so that you actually have a hook for the bands, okay? So what I want to show you is, let's move the camera. And I'm just going to angle it up so that you can actually see what I'm doing a bit better. Okay, there you go, guys. And then again with the stop, what you'll notice is you thread that through the top and it works really nicely as the bands. I'm not being paid to like advertise these bands, I just think it's a really cool feature. And what you're going to have, let me actually move this around the other side, bear with me, guys. Okay, so hopefully you can see, just turn it slightly. You're going to pull from high to low, and again you're going to pull it back and apart, lead with those thumbs, and then back up to the top. Pull apart and back and lead with those thumbs, and that is your face pull high to low variation. Now, what I would recommend is start off with 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps. Don't go lower than 10 reps on a face pull because it's an exercise, you really want to feel it. It's not about shifting a ton of weight. Okay, so if you use a band, if you use the bag and the towel variation, just make sure that you're able to do the weight you're doing for 10 reps and then go develop from there. What I would say is work on the reps. So start with 3 sets of 10, have about a 1 minute rest, work up to about 3 sets of 15, maybe even up to 3 sets of 20 if you want to play with the rep scheme a little bit, and then add some weight, okay? Again, focus on getting good, clean, quality reps. Get that pause in, really squeeze at that when you pull it apart and back, and then let it up slowly to get a really good contraction when you pull it, and then that negative when you let it back up to the top or to the bottom. Now, that's the first exercise. The second exercise I want to show you is going to be the side to side push up. I'm going to show you an easy version, and then I'm going to show you a more difficult version. So for the easy version, you're going to do this on your knees. Okay? And the reason I'm folding this is so I give this is kind of another tip. When you're using a workout mat, make sure it's folded so your knees have support. What you want to do is put your palms, lie down on the floor and put your palms beside your chest, and then open them up slightly, just slightly to begin with. And then come up and make sure your shoulders, are sort of in line with where your wrists are. You're not too far back, you're not too far over them. They're just sort of above them, in line. And then what you want to do is come down to one side, touch your chest to the floor, come up, come down to the other side, touch your chest to the floor and come up. And that's one rep. That's the side to side push up on your knees. And then I'm going to show you the side to side push up in the full push up form. So same thing, find your hand position, start with your hands beside your chest, open them up slightly, maybe another hand out if you're wondering how much to open them up. Again, make sure your shoulders are above your wrists, come down, touch your chest to the floor, come up, come down, touch your chest to the floor on the other side and come up. That's how to do the easy version, that's how to do the full version. And again, just to go over the benefits of, the rep scheme, the sets and reps. You can start off with lower reps on this. I would say if you can't do 5 good reps of the full version, start on the easier version first and just do it. If you can't even do the easier version, then just go to normal push-ups, okay? And it kind of applies, you can either do the full normal push-ups or you can do full push-ups, or you can do normal push-ups but with your knees on the floor and your legs crossed, similar how I did to the easier version of side to side. So that's a good place to start, but I wanted to show you the side to side variation primarily because it has that side to side component. It allows one arm to work independently of the other, or it at least gives more work to one side and then more work to the other side. It gives you a chance to really feel one side and then the other side independently. And I feel like I'm even pumped just from demonstrating this. Like, give this a shot. What I would do for the sets and reps on the push-ups is start with 3 sets of about 5 with a 1 minute rest, and then work your way up to like about 10 to 12 reps, even up to 15 maybe, and then move on to the harder variation. If you can do side to side push-ups, side to side full push-ups quite easily, what you can do is instead of going side to side, you can actually have one arm out to the side, one hand underneath you like a normal push-up, and just come down like this, and essentially that's putting all the weight on one side, okay? That's kind of the pre-fix to a one-arm push-up fully with your hand behind you. I personally don't really, well, I can do maybe one-arm push-up with not very good form. I think actually this variation is probably where you should stop, just in my opinion. Just because with this, you're working a lot on balance and it becomes mostly a shoulder dominant movement. Whereas I like, at least with these variations, you've still got your chest involved a lot more. And I would say if you get up to this movement and it's still too easy, start loading the push-up. You know, you can put weights in a bag, just as I did with the bag and the face pull, load it with books, get that on your back, and then go through the whole progression cycle again. So those are the 2 exercises. I've given you some sets and reps to start off with, and you can progress this in a number of ways. You can progress it with weight, you can progress it with more sets, you can decrease the rest time. choose whatever progression scheme works for you guys. There's not really a perfect scheme. It just depends on your goals and depends on what you want and how much time you have to work out as well. So that's the video, guys. Those are the exercises. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content from We Fight Fat. Thanks and have a great evening.